Hello. Let's see. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm looking for moderators, and I'm not kind of new to this live thing, so this is my second live. So welcome everybody, and I want to add some moderators. Thank you, user Christine. She said I did well in my first live, even though I didn't. Okay, Alicia. Okay, let me try to add you. And then, yeah, just leave whenever. ALLY. Okay. So, I mean, I've been very fortunate in that I just have, oh yeah, you're not showing up. Why is that? Okay. Let me try to tap on yours. Maybe I have to do the other one, the other name. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my live. I'm just adding some moderators. So just bear with me while I add my moderators. I got an Awakening Alley. That's the wrong alley. I think it's because maybe I'm supposed to use your other name. If anyone knows anything about adding moderators, please help me. Catnip, let me see if I can add you. Oh, I tried to follow you back and it's not letting me. So I don't know if I need to follow you to make you a mod. Add moderator. Okay, I added you, Catnip. And now Allie, for some reason, even though I added you as a friend, I can't find you. It's weird. But hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to my live. I'm just adding some moderators. And so thank you, Catnip. And Alicia's trying to help, but I haven't been able to add her for some reason. But good to see everybody. Well, I can't see you, but I can see your names. I wish I could see you. And also, I wanted to extend the invitation to if you're a fellow dreaming woman, we might have some of you come up and duet with me. I just decided to go live yesterday, so this wasn't planned long in advance. And let me adjust my camera. Because yesterday I was feeling really nervous about today. And so I thought, let's have a live so people can come and talk and, we can be together and support one another. And so that's the main reason I wanted to do a live. Okay, so we have Ellie and Addie would like to duet with me. So, and hopefully I can figure that out. Because I was just on Sky Girl's live last night, and I duetted with her. I was her guest, and we had a lot of fun. And talking about the joust and the screenplay that we're working on. Episode the nth episode. Interesting. So I'm gonna put my glasses on. I can't read your name. It's got a lot of letters in it. Mine Tasman says that Canada can file treason charges against Naked Emperor. That's interesting. I don't know anything about that. We do have to be very careful in the live. I've been kind of under attack by the Clock app, and so be careful about what you put in the comments. And I'm going to be talking about my stories today. I'm not going to be, oh, that's pretty. Thank you. And I think I'm supposed to tell people, oh, tap and I don't know what. Whatever you're supposed to do, do it for the live. And oh, thanks, Erica. She enjoyed the live last night. And I'm going to be doing some more duets with some of the other dreaming women. So I've been reaching out to some of the dreaming women to see if we can do some duets, because I just feel like right now we really need community. You know, the news we got today was not the news that we wanted. And I just want to share a little bit of what I've been getting that I'm hoping will help us, you know, deal with this. And I'm going to take your questions. Oh, it says I should go like this to filter my comments. What am I supposed to do? Oh, I guess that's so I can see your comments. Oh, I see. Now I can see your comments overlaying my face. Oh, that's nice. Now I can see what you guys are saying. So let me just say a little bit about what I've gotten. And mostly I'm going to reiterate what I've already... Thank you for whatever that was. That was cute. Join my team. I don't know what that is, but am I supposed to click it or you? Join my team. I like that. We're all on the same team right now, right? So I'm just going to reiterate some of the stuff that I got that I think is relevant to today. So yesterday when I tuned in and asked about today, I did not get that we were going to get an answer today. I didn't share that because I'm not going to share discouraging news if I don't think it's helpful to do so, but I feel comfortable sharing it now. But what I did get, which I discussed on the live last night, I was feeling very excited, and I feel very peaceful today. I feel like I should be very upset, but I'm not. And logically, I should be, because if we just logically look at the data and say, oh my God, the body of the conclave of decision makers had this opportunity to raise objections today and nobody did. And that's so disheartening. And so logically, we could come to the conclusion that, oh, you know, it's a lost cause. But that's just not how I feel. And I feel peaceful, and I also keep getting the word peace. And what I got yesterday was that today there was going to be some type of grid outage. And I said that in my live, and I said that, if we just interpret it symbolically, it means, we're probably not going to get any news today, which is true. But I wanted to interpret it literally as, oh, the snowstorm is going to cancel the meeting and delay things. But that didn't happen. And so yeah, I wanted to talk today about this decision, but, very carefully. Yeah, there were 2 resolutions at the end, or 2 objections, and they're coming back tomorrow, and I don't really know what that means because I didn't follow that, and I just want to remind people I'm not a journalist. I don't pretend to be. And what I mostly do is I talk about my dreams, I talk about what I'm picking up from my guides, and I share it in the form of a story. And so the impression I got was there was going to be some kind of power outage today, and I think that's what we saw. But I just want to remind you of something I've been saying for quite some time, which I think unfortunately was confirmed by today. And that is that my guides kept saying that at the end of a certain amount of time, we were going to see the Lotus Queen, seated in the spot. But what they kept showing me was chaos, and that we had to go through some things. And that we had to go through some things before that happened. And I keep seeing her, I talked about this before, I keep seeing her, in that throne of authority, but then around her and behind her, there's a lot of shenanigans going on. And so I also got that we, the people, have to be heavily involved in this. It can't just be somebody coming in and saving the day. And so I feel that can still happen, right? That we still have time to do something. And Michael is asking at the end of 4 years. No, I don't see at the end of 4 years. And what I want to add to this is, of course, I'm sharing, my stories, my dreams from my guides. But what we have to remember is that there are so many of us, so many dreaming women, so many of us all around the country and the world who had the same dream, or who have had some similar dream about Lotus POTUS. Oh, thank you for the teddy bear. And so we can't all be wrong. And so, that's the thing. I think there are so many people, not just people like me who are already established intuitives, but people who just woke up and who just had these dreams. And so lots of people have been sharing their dreams with me in my comments and in messages. And I feel very heartened by that they're, oh, thanks for the hat and the mustache. Oh, that was nice. And I don't know what all these images mean, but I love them. And I assume they mean that you like my life. So that's mostly what I wanted to say. There were some other things, but I'm distracted by these questions. So let me look and see if there's a question I can answer. Oh, the 9th. So someone mentioned Carter's funeral. So the thing that I did get, and I've mentioned it before, is I got the 9th as a significant day. And when I got that, I remember being annoyed because it's like, well, the 6th is the big day. Why are you giving me the 9th? But I did get the 9th, and somebody pointed out that that's when Carter is going to have, they're going to have the big ceremony for Carter, for President Carter. And so maybe something will come out that day. Yeah, so this person, K. Delov, says, K. Godlov, I had a dream she was in a blue suit celebrating. I don't know how many people have told me they've had a dream of her in a blue suit celebrating. So many people. Kirsty says another person got the 9th. Okay, good. I do feel like I did hear somebody else say they got the 9th. I can't remember now. Yeah, and so Becky is saying the crime had to be completed. The net is for much more than the orange. That's true. And so I wanted to point out another thing that I've been saying for quite some time, which is that this particular joust in our realm is a part of many different connected jousts. It's part of a massive global cybercrime, and it's not just us. And for that reason, what I've been getting consistently is that there are going to be these global international organizations that might get involved. And let me just stop here and say this is all for entertainment purposes only. I'm not giving the news. I'm not pretending to have facts about what's going on. I'm a storyteller, an intuitive storyteller. And so, we got to keep saying that every now and again so we don't get, I'm sorry that Saberclaw is terrified. That's why I decided to do the live today, because I want to help people not be terrified. And so I'm just looking at the questions. So yeah, Erica 822 says that she dreamt of the hacking and the days. Oh, I probably shouldn't say that word out loud. In the days after the results. There's so many dreamers that have gotten similar dreams. So yeah, Ellie and 80 Brooks want to talk about how a lot of us had the assumption they would object to the validation of the joust. Yeah, let's talk about that. I think we all did assume that would happen because that's in place. Why is it in place if we're not going to use it? And I saw something today that said that there hasn't been this type of a validation without objection since the 80s, that there are always objections. And so I found that very strange, but also a little comforting, because it made me think, well, maybe something is up, and that's why everybody is unified. Like, don't say anything. We got to see this through because we have something planned. Yeah, Liv, I feel the same way. It's like your mind is scared, but your spirit is calm. Yeah, I feel very calm, and I suppose the main reason I feel calm is because I've been getting the same message for 7 weeks now. Is it 8 weeks? That it's going to end a particular way. And And I've also been told it was going to take a while. Just the other day, I got windy road. And yes, Snap1231 says, doesn't he have to be certified in order for the other places to fall into place? That's what some people have said, and you know, that does feel compelling. You know, today I went into meditation, and I was hoping to get some additional information, you know, just for today. And instead, my guide spent that whole time just sending me healing and cleansing and helping me process some of my anxiety. And then they just reminded me of what they had already told me. So let's see. What else are people saying? People are saying that, what's his name? The mole, that he was looking nervous. I didn't watch that, so I don't know. But that's interesting, isn't it? Oh, Z, a fellow Afro-Indigenous person. Thank you for being here. Starboy has something to do with this delay. Absolutely. So he's been really at the heart of this. Rasputin and Starboy have been at the heart of this from the beginning. And so, and you know, let me just be real for a minute. I mean, I'm always real, but I mean, you know, a little more real, like a little more vulnerable. It's not easy to keep saying this in the face of insufficient evidence, right? And people doubting and people being skeptical. And it really isn't a position I sought out. I didn't want to be in this role. I wasn't seeking this out, but my guides just kept telling me to come here and say this and to keep talking to people and keep helping people to hold on to hope and to not fall into despair. And so it does, you know, everything that I got really kind of matches with what we're experiencing, and that I just kept getting, we have to go through some things. I also kept getting, which I discussed last night, that something big is going to happen before the resolution of the joust. And I kept getting that, and it, you know, I wasn't happy about that message, but I delivered it because, of course, all we really care about is this, right? And so it's like, why do we have to go through something else? Why can't we just have a resolution of this? And is it too dark in here? So, but that's what I keep getting. Something else is happening, and that there's something bigger than our joust. And of course, I've talked about how our joust is connected to a lot of other jousts. And so today we saw yet another realm have a collapse of their leadership, right, just north of us with Canada. So this is worldwide, right, that these things are happening. We can't ignore that. We can't act like our joust is more important than everybody else's. Gen Xer asks, do you still see KH as, yes. So POTUS, Lotus is POTUS. I still see Lotus as POTUS. And yeah, so Morning Titan, or Lil Susie is pointing out to us that there's been meddling by Starboy in various jousts throughout the world. Okay, La Cha says they don't think the guides are right. And so just I want to say something about that. The guides are always right, but the question is, you know, have I misinterpreted the guides? So whenever somebody gets a message wrong, it's not the guide's fault, it's their fault. It means they misinterpreted something. And we can do that, right? Sometimes we just don't understand what we get, or we misinterpret it. Like yesterday, I got electrical outage. What was it? Grid outage. And like I said, there's two ways to interpret that. I mean, when we get something like that that's so vague, what is it? Is it a literal outage or is it symbolic? And so obviously when I'm interpreting a symbol like that, I can get it wrong. So certainly that's the case. But as I said earlier, not only do I think my guides are right because they keep telling me the same thing over and over and over for 8 weeks now, but there are so many others out there. I am not alone. I am not the lone wolf in the wilderness with this message. Many of us have this message. And many of us are seeing the same thing. And so thus far, I'm not seeing anything that contradicts with what my guides said. So my guides did not tell me, oh, there's going to be a certain outcome on this particular day. That's not the message I got. If I had gotten that message, then I would agree with you that the guides or that my interpretation was wrong. Because if I had said that about today and then it didn't happen, obviously that's wrong. I can tell you something I've said that is feeling wrong right now, because of course we always have to admit when we're wrong. I keep getting delay, and I've said this more than once. And I interpreted that to mean that the process was going to be delayed, that we were going to have an electrical college delay, we were going to have a delay in the validation today, and we're not seeing those delays. And so that's how I thought, that's what I thought that meant. Lots of other people have gotten a delay in the big ceremony on the 20th. And so I am wondering, what does that mean, delay? And maybe what it means is a delay in the revelation of the information for us. That certainly is being delayed, delay. And so this is where, as a psychic, we can misinterpret things, right? Or we can have a hard time. And what does it mean? What does it mean? That's always going to be the case. But if you're someone who has integrity like I do, I'm not going to deliver a message to you that I got just once, or that was vague or just symbolic. I've gotten very clear messages again and again and again and again for days and days. I've been doing this every day for 8 weeks. So I believe in it, even when it's not, I don't see the evidence. So the theme of today's live, I tried to put it in the title, but it didn't all go in, was hope is the evidence of things unseen. And that's a quote I got from James Baldwin, and it's a kind of slightly changed version of something that's in the Bible, but the quote I'm giving is not actually from the Bible. It's James Baldwin, who's one of my favorite writers. He wrote an essay, The Evidence of Things Unseen. And that's just been rolling around in my head all day. Hope is the evidence of things unseen. And so I feel like there are so many of us who have been hopeful for so long. Even though we may not have as much evidence as we would like, we've still remained hopeful. And, oh good, Karen said she called Jeffrey's office. Hope is my theme word for 2025, according to Becky. I've always gotten the 11th hour. Tarot reader. So that's what I got. I should point that out. Thanks for reminding me, tarot reader. So I've posted this many weeks ago. What I got from the very beginning is Lotus will be POTUS, but it will not happen to the 11th hour. And when it comes to an expression like this, we have to interpret it. What is the 11th hour? Like, I think some people thought today was the 11th hour. Other people will say that the 20th is the 11th hour. And there were some people that thought December, when they were collecting the college tallies, was the 11th hour. Certainly, the 20th feels like the next possible 11th, the very last 11th hour, right, or the 19th. So, yeah, what does that mean? Because I'm not the only one that got 11th hour. A lot of us got 11th hour. So, Eliza, I'm trying to get to some of these questions. Oh, and I have so many I'm supposed to click the button. Someone asked, Evie Davis asked me, do you see NATO involved? And I haven't gotten a specific name for an organization in my story. So let's just reiterate again, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just talking about dreams I've had, about the story that I'm telling, about the big joust between the Naked Emperor and the Lotus Queen. So I'm not a journalist. I'm not pretending to know anything about news. So back to the question. And now I've forgotten the question. Because I had to do my disclaimer. Oh yeah, the question was about the international organizations. So what I have gotten is that from the beginning I got this. It has to be announced by a neutral third party. And so for the longest time I've been trying to figure out who is that. And then what I got more recently was that these international neutral third parties are going to get involved in our joust. So these inter-realm gatherings like NATO and UN and ICC, that one of them is going to get, one or more of them is going to get involved. And I've gotten that again and again. And so I do think they are already involved. I think they are already talking about things, having lots of meetings, strategizing. So in my story, after the joust happened, people were expecting that decision makers in positions of power were going to do something. And so for the last several weeks, we've all kind of been holding our breath, hoping that the decision makers were going to make a decision that would reveal the truth, right? And that didn't happen. And I was always wondering this whole time when in my dream I was told that it was a neutral third party, I was always asking myself, well, which one? And so yes, Christine says the head of NATO was at Camp David last week, and that there's been discussions in other realms about all the jousts in different realms. You know, we know about Romania, so look that up if you don't know. We know about Georgia, and so, or rather I should say they know about Georgia, they know about Romania. And so there are things happening, right, behind the scenes in the realm. And so yes, I feel very strongly that one of those inter-realm agencies is going to be involved, and that they already are involved. And I was told just again and again from the beginning that Lotus Queen can never be the one to initiate anything publicly or to announce anything public or to do anything. And I also felt that maybe the blue team couldn't do it either, because it'll just be perceived as a blue-red thing. When it's not a blue-red thing, it's a realm thing. It's a big D. It's a preserving our big D, right, thing. It's a preserving our republic thing. It's not a blue team, red team thing anymore. It's beyond that. And so maybe that's why we didn't get the result we wanted today in the conclave, because it would have then been perceived as a red versus blue thing. And so I want to remind people too that I was told that that there's so many questions, I'm distracted. So maybe I'll go back to the questions. Do I think, Air Force Mom, do you think somehow the orange is being protected? I do, absolutely. He definitely has good mojo. He's definitely got some, what I call filthy magic working for him. And I have gotten some clear guidance about that. And so, but the light is always stronger than the dark. So we just have to remember that. Madison Keene, a fellow author, pointed out that there's so much baggage associated with this particular date today. It is. So Katie said it's glitching, but I've heard other people in the comments say it's not glitching. So it might be your internet. But if other people think there's something wrong with the live, let me know. Otherwise, it might be that you want to leave and come back. Yeah, I'm not getting anyone else saying it's glitching. Sorry. But I'll keep my eyes peeled and see if people say that. It's going really fast though. Yeah, I'm getting, everyone keeps saying not glitching, not glitching. Someone said was glitching, but it's better now. Okay. So hopefully everyone can see me. Is Lotus Moon on here? I don't know. So if you're, so let me just stop and say, if you're an intuit, a fellow dreaming woman or dreaming person, but I really have been focusing on dreaming women because we're the majority right now for good reason. It's divine feminine that's rising. And you want to duet with me, I guess let me know. And while I'm waiting to see if somebody wants to get up here and duet with me, I will add you. Like someone said they thought Lotus Queen was here. So if Lotus Queen wants to get up and duet with me, that's fine. Can you talk about Oscar and Dior bags? I did. I will. I've talked about them in a number of vids, and I'll talk about it today. They are involved, and so just since I see this question going by, getting at McKinley. No, I do not see the orange. I do not see the Naked Emperor taking office. I do not see that. But the bags. Let's talk about the all of these designer bags in the sky. So if you go back and look at my earlier videos, sometime in November, before we saw any of these bags in the sky, I did a video about how the star beings came to me and told me they were going to be surrounding planet Earth, and they're here to help us. And they said they were here specifically to help us with the joust, because it was related to a worldwide event. Other jousts, it was related to the possibility of new Tonian War. And it was also related to possible interference in our planet by other nefarious star beings. And so, yes, it's all related. And yes, we should manifest the future we want to see. We are powerful. Pamadi, listen to Pamadi. People are asking about ML. I'm not going to spell it out for obvious reasons, but people are worried about an MML happening. Just you'll see it in the comments. I don't see that. I haven't seen that, but I also haven't specifically asked about that. I have just gotten again and again that we're going to have to go through some things to get to our intended outcome. Oh, Jen Miller says I'm her official internet auntie. Thank you. I love that. Oh yeah, Magical Mimi and Lotus Moon were on a live earlier. I just saw Magical Mimi in a Zoom. Okay. So I'm just looking through the questions. Can someone type what ML means? Somebody asked. So someone else type it in there in the comments. Hopefully that won't get us in trouble. I can't say it. I have to be very careful what I say. Just a reminder, I'm a storyteller, and this is for entertainment purposes only. We have another offer of a moderator. So I have one moderator. I can add another one. Okay, I'm just trying to add you. Okay, where do I do that? Over here? Add moderator. Okay, did you get added? Yeah, so I added you, Iris. And so I think the moderators can help me with the questions, right? Yeah. So we have another moderator. Okay. All right, so I've added another moderator. Oh, look at all these offers. Thank you for all the offers of being moderating. I have been very fortunate in that I've just had so much positivity in all the comments on all my videos. I haven't had a lot of people saying negative things. There's just been a lot of love, a lot of community, a lot of people sharing their dreams, and it's been lovely. And I know that I'm protected to some extent because I know that some other people are not having the best time with that. Of course, I'm having other issues. I'm having problems with the Clock Act, trying to just, suspend my account all the time. But, we've all got our our path to walk. But, we've all got our our path to walk. Uh-oh, says it's about to die. I'm also on YouTube, and my username, my handle at YouTube is Jennifer Lisa Vest. Let's see, can I put that in the comments? Where, can I? Oh, I don't know if I can do that. Oh, my live just paused. Am I back? Can people see me? Yeah, thanks. Let's get wiggy with it. There's my name on YouTube. It's Jennifer Lisa Vest. It's also in my profile. So I've been posting everything over there. I've even been posting more over there because of stuff over here getting taken down. So if it gets taken down here, it's over there. I'm also on Blue Sky as Ethical Psychic. Okay, so people are saying you're back. So I guess I was paused for a minute. Maybe because I did something. I moved the comments. I changed the comment display. Maybe that did something. Thank you, Hair of the Day. Yeah, Jennifer Lisa Vest on YouTube. I have a delay, and I don't know what to do about that. I have very good internet because I teach courses online for the Shift Network. And so I have to have really good internet. So I don't normally have any issues with that. But things do look a little different. Okay. So someone said I'm not talking at the same time as my lips. I don't know how to, I probably could leave and come back, but I'm not sure how to do that. Would I mess it up? Lots of communication and electrical interference is happening, according to Madrina Miranda. That wouldn't be surprising. Yeah, I just plugged in, so maybe the low battery was an issue. So I just plugged my my iPad in. So hopefully that solves that problem. Okay, so please talk about your dreams. Okay, let's do that. So back to the story, back to the dreams. So I'm going to kind of reiterate. I've been talking for 8 weeks about this and adding more information each time, but I'm sure everyone hasn't had a chance to listen to all those videos. I'm sure you have other things to do with your time. So I'll do kind of a summary. What I got on November 7th very clearly was that the joust was rigged, and I got very clearly that it was rigged with the help of Starboy and with the help of Rasputin, and also with a couple of other merchants, very, very rich merchants who specialize in technology, including who I call Theos and who I call Bozo the Clown. And so this was the essence of the finagling of the joust. And it happened at a very sophisticated level. It involved many partners, a lot of money, and it involved more than other realms. At the very least, Rasputin, but maybe other realms as well. And so this was a very sophisticated project, and when I first started saying that, which was early November, I sounded a little crazy because nobody else was saying that. in particular. In fact, I got, you know, people accusing me of being a sea theorist, a cons theorist. You know what I mean? And that was hard because, yeah, check the comments for who those characters are in the story, because I've been using these names for a while. Now, I also got that there were additional players, additional characters, and so in another one of my dreams, I talked about the 7 thieves. And so I've gotten at least, 5 names, and there's a 6th one that I was told will be revealed. And so these are kind of the main players, not all the players, but the main players. And then over time, I keep getting information that pertains to why it's going to take a while to uncover this. And, one of the reasons has to do with the technology, and not just the technology, but the players, the characters involved. And so 2 of the characters involved, Rasputin and Starboy, are extremely powerful characters in this story. They're the ones that push the plot forward. Total main character energy. And and in order to really address, uncover, and reverse the finagling, we have to take on these major characters. And I was shared with me in my dream that there's some dangers in doing that. There's some really real dangers in doing that, in taking them on. And so it has to be done very, very carefully. And one of the dangers has to do with, obviously, Rasputin's access to Newtonian weapons. That's one danger. Another danger is Starboy's access to the Sky Eyes. And so what they said is that the Sky Eyes have the potential to be weapons. And so they have to be very careful. Because the type of weapon they are is the type that could cause mass kind of hysteria. If you have a population that's in chaos or in mass hysteria, then, game over, right? And so we have to do whatever we can to keep people from entering into that type of mentality in the story. So in the story, the Lotus Queen, the people that support the Lotus Queen and the people that realize that the Naked Emperor got help in finagling the results, they have to be very careful about all of this so that things don't get crazy. And another aspect of that I've shared is that the followers of the Naked Emperor needed to go through this fafo period, F around and find out. They needed to have revelations about the fact that he was naked, that the Naked Emperor was naked, before they were going to calm down enough not to want to engage in some type of major, conflict. And so that's why it's complex. That's why it's complicated. That's why it's taking time. That's why there's, it can't just be something that happens overnight, because there's just so many players, so many characters in the story, and so many risks in the story. And so, let's see, Ansup asked, do I think that the star beings are working with the Lotus Queen? I don't know, I haven't been told that they're working explicitly with her, but I've been told that they're working towards an outcome that favors her. But it's not really personal. It's not that they have picked a candidate in the joust. It's that they have picked the best outcome for the planet. And they're trying to ensure that we don't destroy ourselves. And so from their perspective, if there's a certain outcome of the joust, it's going to lead to destruction, not just of ourselves, but of the planet, which would impact the entire cosmos. And we're not allowed to do that. We're not allowed to negatively impact the entire cosmos, and that's why the Galactic Federation's involved. Yeah, and so Michelle is pointing out that NATO was already involved in another realm in this story. And in that part of the story, NATO was involved in Romania and finagling there. And so that's what I mentioned earlier, that because of that, because of that, we know that these inter-realm organizations are aware of what happened in our joust. They know, because they know about these other ones, and they're all connected. They're all using similar. It's the same characters, right? Starboy and Rasputin are the same characters involved in all the jousts. And so I know that right now, those of us who are just, thinking logically and looking at evidence are really struggling, thinking, oh, have we run out of recourse? Have we run out of options? And I just want to remind you that, so many things have happened in the last 8 weeks that we would have never suspected would happen, that we never thought we would see in our lifetime. And so we're living in these unprecedented times where we really can't predict, just based on logic, what's going to happen, right? Because if we did, most of the things that we've seen in the last 8 weeks would not have happened, right, logically. So there's something else going on. And that's why we have all these dreaming people who are tapping in and tuning in and sharing their dreams, because something is happening. Something global is happening with the way that we obtain knowledge. All of these predominantly women woke up at 4 a.m. on the day after the joust, and they woke up, all of them, with the same general message, which was that Lotus would be POTUS, and that this would not stand, and that this was a finagling, right? Everyone got this dream. So we're entering an era where we have to reevaluate how we think about knowledge. We have to stop thinking about, oh, everything has to look the way it used to look in history, or everything has to be logical. And I'm saying that as somebody who is myself a philosopher and a logic. I used to teach logic. I love logic. But right now we're being called upon to take intuition more seriously than we ever have. And so now we're relying mostly on intuition. I think up until today, we were relying on these little dribs and drabs and little bits of news here and there that were promising and exciting. But now, depending on what happens tomorrow, right? But just talking about today, right? Because we don't know what's happening tomorrow. Just talking about today, we're being called upon today to rely almost exclusively on intuition, and just to trust and hold on to that hope, and trust our intuition, trust our dreams, trust the dreams of all of the other dreaming people who have gotten the same dream. And that's what we have to hold on to right now. And I picked that quote for today: hope is the evidence of things unseen. Because when you have hope, you don't have hope because you have evidence. You have hope regardless of the evidence, right? Hope really is something other, right? You have hope in something you can't necessarily see or prove. And so that's what we're being called upon to do right now, is to maintain the hope, even though we don't have as much evidence as we would like, right? So we have hope right now, today. And maybe tomorrow we'll have some more evidence. But today we have hope. And today we have our intuition. Someone just said they're here to remind us that Hope is Walls' daughter's name. Someone else said, hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul. And that's a quote from, is it Emily Dickinson? I forget. It's from a poet. So I just want to say again, for people who have logged on later, that I feel very peaceful today. Logically, I should be very upset, but I feel very peaceful, And I feel unwavering in my commitment that Lotus will be POTUS. I don't understand how it's going to happen. And that's probably something we can all admit is true for all of us. None of us knows how it's going to happen, right? We like to think we know, and we've been guessing for weeks. Maybe it'll happen this way. Maybe it'll happen that way. And a lot of our guesses have been wrong. I didn't ever say that today we were going to get information. I'm just not that type of intuitive storyteller. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm telling stories based on my intuition. I do not pretend to be a journalist. The way that my gift works is I work with guides. I have a lot of different gifts. I'm a medical intuitive and a psychic medium, and so in the different work, and I'm an energy healer. And so I have lots of different gifts, but the gifts that I've been using in particular to get information about these characters, Naked Emperor and Lotus Queen, I've been primarily talking to my guides, and they've been giving me information that they want me to share with people. And so I haven't been giving like timelines. I haven't been giving specific dates where things were going to happen. But I've been giving, broader stroke information about mostly what I believe has happened and what's going on behind the scenes. And then the future, what the outcome will be, what the ultimate outcome will be. And so I will say, just by way of timeline, after my disclaimer that I don't give timelines, I'll say that I did get something about the 9th. And the 9th is also the day that Carter's big ceremony is happening, President Carter. And so I don't know if that's related, but I did get, when I was asking my guides about today, I did not get today. I got, the 9th. And I'm like, that's not helpful. We want to know about today. But we get what we get, and I'm not going to pretend to get things I didn't get. So I am noticing that I hope you guys can all hear me again. The comments are going a little slower. Oh, they're speeding up again. Yes, listen to Evie Davis 3. Just breathe and know that everything will be okay. Thanks for that reminder. So today when I was asking my guides about today, they said, you need to tell everybody to breathe. And they had me breathing. So let's just spend a moment doing that. So let's take some nice deep breaths. Just breathe in slowly and deeply. And then breathe out slowly and deeply. And now when you breathe in, just imagine you are inhaling, relaxing blue light, and feel it moving all through your body, bringing healing and peace. And then each time you exhale, imagine you are letting go of gray smoke, all that does not serve you, anxiety and fear. And so I just want to encourage you to do that on a regular basis. If you can just take at least 3 deep breaths on a regular basis, and then visualize the future you want to see. And so I want to reiterate this. This is something that my guides have been telling me to share for weeks, and that is that we need to visualize the future we want to see. We need to hold the vision. We need to keep our energy in hope and not despair. Now, I was also told that we need to be in community, and so I think today, more than ever, we need to start finding ways to get into community. So we have community on here, but we should also get community in real life. Uh-oh, all of a sudden it got dark. Oh, I'm getting some weird question about a puzzle. Drag the puzzle piece into place. Okay. All right. We should be back. So I encourage people to do some vision boarding, maybe get together with some other people and do some vision boarding, and, you know, begin to create that vision of the future. Oh yeah, I did invite Gia to do a duet, and I did invite Dana to do a duet with me, and so we'll be doing some of those duets this week. Oh, Talithia says, my information sounds a lot like Spiritual Sam's post today. I didn't get to see her post, but we often get the same information, as do Gia and I and Dana and I. Dana and I really get a lot of the same information. And yeah, those are all wonderful people to follow. I have promoted all of them in my videos. Coach 63 is recommending that we take the vision worldwide, not just around the election. Oh, Iris, one of my moderators, said it's not letting her pin questions. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be nice, huh? If I could see the questions pinned. So I don't know why. Let me, should I go check? I gave you all the things as far as I could see, all the settings. I'm going to go into the moderator thing and just see if there's something I can do to allow you to pin things. So manage, just bear with me. Manage guests, add, remove. Okay. Oh, here it is. Oh, that's a perk. Pin perks. Okay, I don't know what that is, but you can now do that. It doesn't say anything about pinning comments. Okay. So I'm just going through all. We got three moderators possibly. So you all have all the things, I think. And someone's asking if they can do a Zoom. Maybe, you know, it depends on the scheduling and whatnot. This has taken up a lot of my time, as is my work. Okay, let's see. I think I need to push this button again. So see if you can pin them now. Someone's asking about some meeting that's behind closed doors, and so I think they're talking about the decision makers having a conclave tomorrow, and there was something about 2 resolutions, and I don't really, like I said, I'm not a journalist, so I don't have the details on that. If somebody wants to share it in the comments, they can. I can just tell you that it's not over till it's over. So another thing I heard today, you know, it's not over till the fat lady sings. And I don't know who the fat lady is, but press and hold the comment you want. Oh, okay. Thank you, Hannah. Oh, okay. So, oh, how do I, oh, so I just pin this comment. So I'm trying this out. Unlock. Oh, apparently it's something I had to unlock. Oh, I haven't gone live enough. It says for me to unlock the pin function, I have to have gone live on 3 separate days. This is only my 2nd live. So that's why we can't pin comments. I'm not privileged. Yes, I do follow Empress CJJ for the political stuff. Also, Gretchen's got questions. And then there's that new person, Saint Gail. So someone just asked, what do you think is going to happen? So for people who have been here, you probably bored with me saying the same thing over and over, but we keep getting the same questions, right? I see Lotus POTUS. I still see that, but I've been told again and again that we had to go through some things before we got to that point. I've also been shown that there are many different characters in this story, lots of very powerful characters, and that we have to tread lightly and carefully, and that it's international and global in focus. And I've been told that it involves technology and that we have to also, the decision has to be made to reveal the truth at a time when it's going to cause the least amount of disruption, hysteria, chaos, infighting, that kind of thing. So that's my answer. Yeah, and so GJ is saying the international part is making us have to wait. So one person is saying, oh, a lot of people got this, and I don't have the same trust in them anymore. I don't know if that's what they're talking about, that they don't trust them anymore. I understand that. You know, if you're feeling like we were just talking about evidence. If you're feeling like there's not enough evidence for what the dreaming women are saying and you don't trust it, that's okay. That's your individual discernment. You know, you have to discern for yourself who to trust and what to trust. And we're really all being called upon right now to tune in and to connect with our higher self and to connect with our intuition and to ask our own inner guidance for assistance. And then there are all of us who are out here like myself who have been called upon to remind people of that and to encourage people to trust their own intuition. And so that's what my role is to help you have hope and to help you trust your own intuition and to help you learn how to have your own discernment using your own gifts. But I have gotten the same message consistently in terms of the final outcome. That has not wavered for me. I haven't always gotten the details. I didn't get details about today. I didn't get details about the date at which she will be seated. I've never gotten a date, and I don't pretend to have a date. But I've gotten a lot of information, and I have seen, again, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm sharing my dreams. But what I have seen is that some of my dreams, I have seen evidence for them being revealed over the last 7 weeks. So, for example, I was shown back in early November that Starboy was involved, and now there have been a number of people in the news suggesting the same thing. There's been a lot of commentary about it by various people, and in other countries in particular, there's been accusations. And so I'm not saying that that's proof that what I got was true. I'm just saying that things that I said where nobody was saying anything like that, now lots of people are saying it. And so to me, that feels confirming and validating. Similarly, in my dream, I mentioned the star beings very, very early, and it wasn't until after I mentioned them that then we started to see all these Dior and Oscar de la Renta bags. And so to me that also felt validating, because when I said it initially, there was no reports, there was nothing going on related to that subject. And then over the last few weeks, there's been just so much testimony about that. So to me, that feels like maybe evidence is too strong of a word, but very validating and confirming, and it makes me trust in my dreams. Also, what I've seen over the last 7 weeks is that many other dreaming women and dreaming people have been giving the same messages and having the same dreams that I'm having. That's also very confirming for me. Many people in my comments have said they have had the same dream. That feels very confirming. A team with Teresa, are the bags in connection? Yes, they are. And so they are here because of our joust, and they are here to support us and to protect us from destruction. Okay, SJ Bijou, that's like a gift, right, in French. SG Bijou, I might be remembering it wrong, but wants to know about, has a health question about the Naked Emperor. And I did see something about that, which I've discussed just kind of very, very, very briefly. I have to be very careful, right, about telling certain dreams, telling certain stories. I did see a short life expectancy with regards to the Naked Emperor. And so we will be seeing that in the next few months. There was another... Oh, is Gia on here? Someone said, Gia Prism, hello, beautiful. If you're on here, Gia, let me know if you want a duet. I don't know if you're here. But if you're here, let's jump up here with me. And also, if someone else wants to duet, I keep saying, if you want a duet, let me know, and I will try to bring you up here. Someone said she's here. So I don't know if I messaged you, Gia, about duetting me. Oh yeah, you are here. Hopefully you got my message. So you said, let's do it. So let me see if I can do it. So how do I do this? Do I go to your name? I'm gonna grab your name and see if this will let me do it this way. Bear with me, I'm new to this this live business. Okay. Okay, it's not under that. So I'm gonna go to my settings. And if anyone wants to give me some advice, feel free. I've been really fortunate, by the way, in that since I started posting so much on TikTok, I've had all these people come in my comments, give me advice. And I really appreciate it. Most of it's been kind. Sometimes people are a little judgmental, but I appreciate all of it because I need the advice. And so they'll say, oh, you need better lighting. Your lighting sucks. And so then I went and got myself a little ring light. And then someone said, oh, you need to do this or whatever. And then I did it. So, you know, I'm learning. So I'm looking under the settings and, geez, I can't figure out how to duet. Can someone tell me? Before I started it, I looked it up and I saw it. Oh, here it is. Guests. There it is. Okay. Oh, maybe I don't qualify. Yep, I don't qualify. Because you have to have gone live on 3 separate occasions, apparently. Or unless I can make you a co-host. Oh, let's check those requirements. Oh, rats. Yeah, so sorry, Gia. I spoke too soon. Apparently, in order to have you as a guest, I have to have done 3 lives already. And this is only my 2nd live. So let's do it. Let's try to do it maybe later this week. And then I can bring up some guides. I'm not getting anything on I don't know what I don't have a nickname for him except the mole. I am not getting anything on the mole. For the love of dogs, then we have to have more lives from you. Oh, it says Gia can request to join me. I don't know if that's true, but if you know how to do that, but it looks like I'm just maybe not allowed to because this is my second live. Oh, end and restart for a 3rd. Oh, but I think it said on here you have to have them on 3 separate days. They know we would try that, so they know. They're like, oh, we got to put this in there. It says 3 lives on 3 separate days. Because otherwise I would do it. Yeah, Karen, my answer is yes. So I'm just looking at questions now. I don't have that button. That's too bad. But I'll definitely, Gia and I will come back and do a duet later this week. Yeah, I could try it, but I think, let me just read it again. It said under the qualifications, I'll just make sure. Under the qualifications, it says, go live on 3 separate days. Yeah, so I'd have to wait till midnight. Everyone's got ideas about how to work around it. Emily said, big Queen of Pentacles energy tomorrow. You need to catch up with the lives. I do. I haven't been doing a lot of lives. That's because I've been dealing with a lot of clock suppression, and I've been kind of afraid. Yeah, so Dawn Baidu said assets need to be frozen of Starboy. So let me talk about that a little bit. Because everyone's been asking me, are people going to get, in the story that I'm telling, are any of the characters going to get put into the jail? And I have not gotten that, but what I have gotten is that Starboy was going to be, in a later chapter, Starboy is going to be stripped of everything. And what I heard was stripped of everything. And I interpreted that to mean stripped of licenses, of businesses, of government contracts, of maybe citizenship. Thanks for that really pretty swirly thing. And so I suspect that Starboy in the later chapters won't necessarily be locked up, but will probably leave and go into another realm. And like he's already got designs on other realms, right? Germany and UK. He's already over there finagling. So I suspect that that's what's going to happen. And then with regard to the Naked Emperor, I also did not see specifically jail in later chapters. What I saw instead was some type of kind of hospital situation that was kind of a secured hospital. So similar, but not exactly the same. And then I saw, a demise. Oh, I didn't know that. Lokar said France is threatening to seize Starboy assets. Thank you for the horns. And I think I'm supposed to tell you to like and, I don't know, do other things. Tap, right? Whenever I'm on other people's lives, I tap. I don't really know what it translates into, but I think it's good. Someone asked if Starboy's going to leave in one of his spaceships. That would be great, wouldn't it? But except that those other planets don't want him either. You got to factor that in. There are people living on a lot of other planets and they don't want it. They're not interested in any human colonization schemes, It's absurd that people on our planet are like, let's go colonize. And it's like, you know what? Nobody's interested in you in us going and trying to take over their planet. But that's a part of our mindset that we have to unlearn, right? So as we shift to the divine feminine, we're going to have to let go of a lot of our kind of ways of being. And one of those ways of being is this thing where we think we should just be able to conquer people and colonize them and take their land and take over and rule over them. And we have this long history of that. Well, that's really much connected to toxic masculinity. And we're entering into this divine feminine where there's more of a balance between all the genders. And we're gonna, when we enter into this new, Pluto and Aquarius divine feminine, we're gonna be letting go a lot of those kind of assumptions. The assumption that, if we don't like where we are, we can just go somewhere else and take it over. And no, that's really not how life works. We need to learn how to get along with each other. And yeah, we need to learn how to have equal rights, Teresa, and world peace. Okay, let's listen to this person. Lil Susie said, can we all pray tonight for world peace? Thank you for that reminder. Because I had all these things I knew I was going to bring up tonight, and that was one of them, is that we can all together set intentions together. We can all together send healing to our country. We can all visualize together. And so let's what time it is. Let's all just take a moment together. There's like what, 500 of us in here? 572 people in here. let's all take this moment. Let's take her advice. Sorry, I forgot your name. Lil somebody. And together, let's all just spend a moment visualizing our realm, our country at peace. Let's visualize a healthy peace, though. We don't want a peace absent justice, right? We want a peace with justice. And so peace is not the only goal, because there can be peace under authoritarian regimes, and it's not a positive peace, right? Because people are suffering. And so we want to envision the outcome that we want to see in the joust. We want to see the will of the people, right? We want to see the people that actually put in the tallies. We want to see what the tallies they put in. We want that person in office, right? That's what we're asking for. We're not asking for a change. We're asking for a faithful execution of what we already said we wanted. So let's all visualize that an announcement is made, announcing that mistakes were made, but mistakes are now being rectified, and that we are now going to place in the seat the person who the people chose. And we see celebrations throughout the land, and joy, dancing, music, balloons. And we also see ourselves putting our arms around our red-hatted sisters and brothers and others and telling them it's okay. We're all in this together. We're all one big family. And we're embracing them and we're helping them through this. And anyone who's disappointed or confused, we're helping them. We're hugging each other. We're holding each other, clapping them on the back, shaking their hands, kissing them on the cheek. We're in this together. We're evolving the consciousness of ourselves, of our communities, of our country, and of the planet. And we can all feel that and see that evolution that's happening. We're all visualizing it, and we can see our lovely lotus sitting in the seat, beaming at us, smiling. And we can see the corruption being revealed so that we can end it and enter into a healthier way of governing. And we can see the path ahead where it's possible for us to have equality and peace, where it's possible for us to end suffering, helping one another, hand-holding, assisting one another, loving one another, and entering into a wonderful relationship with our neighbors and other realms, one of equality and peace, of sister, brotherhood, and otherhood, coming together as siblings. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I hope you were all able to participate in that. And let's do that every day, you know. I don't know if I can go live every day, but we can try to go live more often. You know, during the pandemic, I did something similar. I did a live free meditation every single day. It was so helpful. But you know, you don't need me to do it. You can do it. You can gather together with your friends and neighbors. You can gather together with your friends. You can do your own lives on TikTok or YouTube. You don't need me to do it. We can all do it. You know, we can all do it. And I'm sure between all of us, Dreaming Women, that if each one of us does a live one every day, there'll be enough of us doing it that we'll all be able to bring our energy together. Yes, I'm on the West Coast. Andrea says that her husband is totally opposite of all this. So let me address that for a moment, because my guides have also addressed that. They said very clearly that those of us who are having these dreams, we need to share them with everybody all the time. That it's no longer time to hold back. It's no longer time to be nervous or afraid of how people are going to view us or how they're going to respond. Our job is just to give the message. So when you're the messenger, you are not responsible for how people receive the message. You're only responsible for delivering the message. And it's like that if you're a healer. And I had to learn that as I was developing my gifts. That, a lot of times when we're working as a healer, we give someone healing or we give them advice about their health. And then they don't always listen. They don't always do what we recommend as a treatment. And it can be frustrating. It's like, wait a minute. And then we can end up holding on to them, becoming attached to them. Why aren't they doing what I told them to do? Why aren't they helping themselves, healing themselves, right? And you may feel that way about your husband, your spouse, your partner, like Andrea does. And you know what? Just give them the message. Give them the message. And if they call you Delulu, say, maybe I'm Delulu, but maybe it's Tralulu. And maybe we all have to be Delulu until it becomes Tralulu. And that may just require, some patience. Worst case scenario, what's the worst case scenario? That you were wrong? That you were hopeful and you were wrong? That you gave people hope? I just don't see the downside. I don't see the downside. I don't see the downside of hope. So the theme for people who just arrived, the theme of today's live is hope is the evidence of things unseen. And so, I'm afraid of giving false hope. I don't believe in false hope. I don't think that's a thing. I think that's something that negative people made up because they don't want hopeful people to be hopeful. I just don't believe in false hope. There's just hope. There's hope. Hope is the evidence of things unseen. Maybe we can't see them. Maybe we can't point to them and say, there's proof for why I'm hopeful. But that's not really what hope is, right? Hope is based on a knowing, a feeling, a sense, that there's something there. Maybe I can't see it, but I know it's there. Thank you for the glasses. Very cute. Giving hope is not a guarantee of a specific outcome. Who's that? I want to give your name. Glitter Goddess. Love your name. Listen to Glitter Goddess. Right? I haven't given I have given an outcome, a general outcome. I've said Lotus will be POTUS. But there's lots of things along the way that we don't know exactly how things are going to work, right? But we have hope in that outcome. We have hope. And we have hope because we've seen it, we've visualized it, right? So many of us have. So Z says, I'm gay, but my partner is more woo-woo than me. LOL. Yeah, we're not all woo-woo. Andrea said part of her job is to help her husband. Keep trying. Debbie aka Gigi said, yeah, my husband thinks I'm going off the deep end and I don't care. That's the right attitude. Let them think that. It's exactly, Nona. I'd rather hold on to hope than accept despair. Sarah said her family and kids they roll their eyes. Let them roll their eyes. Later on we're going to be smiling all big, and they're going to say, "Oh, we should have listened. We should have listened to you." User long number says, "I hate being wrong." Yeah, we all hate being wrong. That's the ego. But there are worse things. And remember, when you're getting a dream, a vision, an intuition. It's not you. It's not coming from us. We're just the messengers, right? We're just the ones that deliver the message. It's not me. I'm not some brilliant knower of all things, right? I just happen to be a medium, a channel, a psychic who knows how to receive information and deliver it, right? It's not from me. And so when you get clarity on that you're just a hollow bone, then it's now no longer about you. It's no longer about you being wrong. I mean, certainly we can talk about I can be wrong in my interpretation. And so we want to, of course, train a lot and get a lot of feedback and really hone our gifts so that we don't misinterpret what we get. And then Rio 2020 says that today was hard, but they were giving hope messages to a lot of people. So yeah, and that's our work. That's our work. Cha-Cha Charlotte wants to know, how would you deal with a narcissistic boss? I live in the same house with them as a nanny. Oh, that's a difficult one. Here's the thing about narcissists. There's really nothing we can do, right, to change them. They're not changeable, right? There's something hardwired in that makes them that way. And so when you're dealing with a narcissist, your focus needs to be on yourself, on what you can change, which is you. And so what you can change is how you respond or react to them, how much you let them get to you, you know? I remember when I was a kid, I used to get bullied a lot because of racism. And there were kids that would follow my sisters and I home and call us names and throw rocks at us and beat us up. And my dad used to say to us, you know, you cannot let what they say affect what you think about yourself. And obviously we had to learn how to stop them from, you know, hurting us. That's like, you got to deal with that. That's real world stuff, like physical stuff you have to deal with. But once you learn how to deal that, once you get them to stop actually harming you, like I don't know if your boss is actually harming you, but if they're not actually harming you physically, then what's left is emotional, right, damage. Like they're trying to hurt you emotionally by saying very awful things. And the thing about when people say really awful things is we have a lot more control over that, because we can decide how much we care about what they have to say about us. We can also decide whether we're going to engage them in particular conversations. People who like to start fights, they get really frustrated when people don't want to participate. And because they're trying to feed off of that, right? They're trying to feed off of upsetting somebody. So the gift is, you know, the trick is, is learning how to, how and when to disengage from people who are trying to harm you with their words. Debbie, Indie Gal, what do you think is the path at this point for Lotus? Today definitely made things more final. I do think it's an illusion that things are final. I do not think things are final, but I do think that we're living in unprecedented times where nothing is being done the way that it used to be done. Traditions are not being followed. Rules are not being followed. And I just pointed out earlier, I'll say this again, that there hasn't been a conclave of the kind there was today where the validation of the tallies was made without any objection. There hasn't been one like this since the 80s. So this is very bizarre, right? Normally there would have been a lot of objections, and we would have expected even more objections than normal today. But it didn't happen, and that doesn't make sense either. And so we just keep seeing things that don't make sense, right? So many things. The fact that we have all these things flying in the sky, does that make sense? The fact that our leaders are telling us, nothing to see here, we don't know what it is, but you're safe. Both things can't be true. If you don't know what it is, you don't know if it's safe. So they do know what it is, but they also know that it's safe, right? We're just getting a lot of weird stuff. And so given how everything is so weird, also look at our leaders. Look at the blue hat leaders. None of them have complained about the joust. None of them. We had one exception, was the Jeffries speaker, or minority leader, who gave that one talk about swinging tallies, right? And that was it. And everybody else has been quiet. Maybe there's a few exceptions. You can put them in the chat. That's very strange, right? Because normally we would expect people who were complaining for months before the joust about the dangers of this particular outcome would have something to say if that were the current outcome. Why aren't they speaking? So I'm just saying all this to point out we're living in unprecedented times, and we don't really know what the next chapter of the story is. We may know how the story ends, right? But we don't know each chapter, because every chapter that we've read so far in this book has not made sense. Right? It has not made sense. And so I think that the reason that's happening is because it's trying to get our attention. We need to think differently. We need to recognize that we can't predict things the way we used to, using logic and data. And we can't rely on, for example, MSM. We used to be able to rely on that for information, and we don't have that. And this is the first time in our history where that has been the case, that we cannot turn on the TV or open a newspaper or listen to the radio and get the news. This is the first time. We've never experienced this in our lives. And there's just such a long list of those things, right, in this story. There's such a long list of characters going rogue, and characters that we didn't expect to be in the story, and characters having really weird trajectories in the story, and all these plot twists, right? Like more plot twists. This story would never sell. Like, I would never be able to get my agent to sell this story to a publisher because it's got way too many plot twists. It's got too many characters, right? So this is just reminding us. Oh, thank you for the teddy bear. This is just reminding us that we're living in very unusual times where we can't necessarily rely on the way we used to get information. And so now we're relying on intuition. We're relying on dreams. We're relying on dreaming people. We're relying on astrology. We're relying on a lot more sources of knowledge. And I'm not saying don't rely on traditional sources of knowledge. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we're kind of being pivoted a little here to expand our understanding of where we should get our information and how many sources of information we have available to us. So we each individually have our own source, intuition, connecting to higher self, right? I have to wear these glasses to see these little comments because they're so small. Jules says, "Oh, it reminds me of the TV show Lost. Every episode is confusing." And then Cat Mama L says, "It's like a story being written by multiple authors and they keep overwriting each other's chapters." Oh my God, that is exactly it. Right? It's like all these co-authors, or maybe they're all working on a TV show together and they're all in the room, like the writer's room. Well, I think in the next episode we should have this happen. But then the other guy's like, well, no, I think not only should this person get married and this person, croak, but this person should have a baby and this person should, like so many crazy ideas at once. Yes, the divine feminine is our source, TJ Mockingjay, exactly. SoCal Fox, what is, do I want to say their names? No. Dark Brandon and Lotus Queen, what are they thinking? I think they're feeling bad for us. I think they're feeling bad for us that they can't tell us and that they have to keep us in the dark, and that so many people are sad. and that they can't do anything to alleviate our suffering. Lindsay Ruffles also points out fast results, right? We've had fast results for a couple things, the joust, and then today the results were the fastest they've been in decades. Weird interferences, governments falling around the world, D-bags, right? Oh my, exactly. I mean, how many crazy things have happened in the last 8 weeks? It's like the timeline just got crunched together, where instead of it being like, oh, we're having a joust, and then we talk about that for weeks, and then, oh, now we have things in the sky, we talk about that for weeks. We're just, everything's happening at once, right? Oh, Sarah. Oh, I've never heard this. Dark Brandon's press secretary called Lotus president-elect the other day. Oh, I haven't seen that, but I love that addition to the story. So Lil Susie, oh, that's our Lil. I think it'll all come out before the 20th. They have it locked down and secured. Like I've said earlier, I have not gotten a date. I don't tend to get specific dates. I did get that the 9th. I say that and then I'm going to follow that by saying, but I did get the 9th. I got the 9th that we were going to get some significant news, some type of proclamation or declaration, or I think that was the language I heard. Freudian slip. Oh, here's the pitch for the next chapter of the book, of the story. My pitch for the next chapter is the fall of the D-bags. Cat mama. Oh, let me talk about that. So as you know, some of you know, I've been talking to the star beings, and so one of the chapters in my story is about the star beings, and in that chapter, they told me many, many weeks ago that they were all coming here, and they were coming here specifically to assist humanity because of what's going on with our jousts, and because of the threat of Newtonian war. And so they've been here for quite a while, and a lot of people are like, beam me up already, you know, what's going on, what's the delay? And other people are like, can you please make contact? And so I think it was yesterday or the day before, they showed me that actually several of them have landed, but they've landed in these geographically isolated places because they don't trust humans, because humans are warlike. And so they're hidden. Like one of them was in like the Grand Canyon or something. And so they've kind of stashed these, what are we calling them again? O-bags? Vehicles, conveyances. They've stashed their conveyances in various remote locations. And then they showed several people coming out of these conveyances and then mixing in with the population and blending in with the population. And they said that these people look like us, but they don't look exactly like us. And so people will be looking at them and saying, something's a little off about that person. And so if you start looking too closely, you'll see that, this one doesn't really look like the others. And so that was all I was shown about that. But that felt very exciting to me because that's a step forward, right, in communication if they have people down here on the ground. Now, of course, they already have people down here, and those were the star seeds. So if you're a star seed, you came for this, right? And if you're a light worker, you came for this. This is go time. And by go time, I mean this is the time that you came to be activated, to get into position, to be who you came to be, to spread your light, to help others, and to help anchor the light and to assist humanity in raising its consciousness. And so I have felt this so strongly since November 7th that everything I've been doing until now, and that everything I've been preparing for, and all of the training and skills and gifts I've been given, were all leading to this moment when I could be of assistance in this way. And that's not just true for me, that's true for all of us who are starseeds, light workers, healers, and that's probably most of you who are on this live, who are drawn to people like me or people like the Dreaming Women. You're drawn to us because of, okay, I did something. Add a sticker. I don't know if I'm supposed to push that button. So I just got a button. Congratulations to Tammy. Okay, so Debbie, aka Gigi, is asking, are they going to personally speak with us? Yes, they're already speaking to some of us. Like, they're speaking to me, and they're speaking to other people, and so they're already speaking to us. But I think what you're really asking is, are they going to speak like out loud to the collective? And yes, I don't know the timeline for that, but what I have gotten is that it's speeded up, so that they were originally probably going to come next year or the year after, but because of decisions that we made, they came early because we need them. Debbie A.K. Gigi says, no, I'm just asking about myself. She said, I want to know if they're going to speak out loud to me. I can't answer that because I don't know your particular life purpose. I don't know if you're a starseed. I don't know what you came to do. But if you've had a really strong interest in those beings your whole life, then you probably do have a connection to them. The thing is, we have this kind of innate fear of the other. And this was explained to me many, many years ago. I used to be really just terrified of aliens when I was younger. And there was a certain year in my life when I decided to start confronting all my fears, and that was one of them. And so I started reading books, and there was 2 books I read that I highly recommend by Lizette Larkin. And one book was called Talking to Extraterrestrials, and the other one was called Listening to Extraterrestrials. And after I read those books, I had a very different feeling. And after that, I started to have direct communication with some of my guides who were from other star systems. And then they also educated me. And one of the things they told me is, you know, we have this kind of innate fear of people who have very different bodies from us, you know. So like what we call aliens, we have kind of almost a biological reaction, aversion, right, to like a 2-headed being or a green being, or, you know, a being with antennas or whatever. We just kind of have this So there is a lot of fear, and we have to tamp that down. We have to learn how to stop being so fearful so that we can have positive experiences. Now, keep in mind that we're also in control of that. And so they also told me this, that there were some star beings out there who were not the lovey-dovey ones. They're like, some that are out there that are more like scientists who just saw us as, you know, like kind of like lab rats. And they'll come to planet Earth and you know, grab people and take them up to their, you know, vehicle and, you know, probe them and, you know, do experiments, whatever, and then put them back home. And then those people have terrible memories, right? And we have a name for that, which I'm not going to use. I'm afraid to use so many words on this app because I have no idea what words I'm allowed to use. But basically, so we have these stories that people have told of scary experiences. And I had some of those as a child where I was, you know, basically getting like a physical examination, like when you go to the doctor's office. And as a child, having that on a, you know, on a cold metal surface with weird looking beings was quite terrifying. And so what they told me was, you don't have to consent to that type of experience. If you ever have an experience with a star being that makes you feel fearful, or if you have an anxiety about it, you just have to say very, very clearly in your mind or out loud or both, I do not consent. I don't, you know, I don't want to go anywhere with you. I don't want, you know, and you just have to be very, very clear about it. And I did try this out, and it does work. So, but they're a really small minority, and right now things have changed. So that was also, keep in mind, 40 years ago, you know. So I'm talking about when I was little. And now we have a very different thing going on. We have this whole Galactic Federation that's here, and they're here to help. And there's only one group that's nefarious, and the rest of them are all positive, and they outnumber that one. And so the balance of power is in our favor. Encounters. Yeah, that's a good word for it. Encounters. There's another word people use that starts with A, which is more negative, right? It's like kidnapping. Okay. And we're probably going to close down the live pretty soon because I am getting tired. I don't even know how long we've been on here. But I feel like it's been quite a while. Because we started at, what, 6? It's almost 8. So we're going to end it, let's end it at 8. Support the journey says that fear of others has been conditioned. Yeah, this is another thing that my guides told me, the star being ones. They said, look at your society. Look at humanity. You have created so many divisions, and you have harmed so many people on the basis of really minor differences, like skin color and eye shape and hair texture and genitalia. And they were making fun of us, kind of, in a nice way, but they were like, look at you humans. You fight wars over these tiny little differences, right? And you can imagine from their perspective, it's like us if we were to look at a bunch of turtles, and some of the turtles had, brown spots on their shell, and some of the turtles had gray spots, some of the turtles had white spots. And from our perspective, looking at these turtles, they all kind of look the same to us. They're just turtles. But if the turtles were dividing themselves up according to whether they had a white spot or a brown spot or a black spot on their shell, we would think it was ridiculous, right? We would want to know why. Well, that's how they see us, is that we like to fight amongst ourselves over really superficial differences, like, like gender and race. And because of that, we've been conditioned, like Support the Journey says, we've been conditioned to focus on difference instead of sameness. We're all in this together. We're all humans. We're all sisters and brothers and others. We're all siblings. We're all related, right? And we just don't get it yet, right? We're still learning that. We're still learning to see each other as ourselves. We're still learning that. And that's why for some of us, the thought of encountering beings from an entirely different star system with totally different body types can be terrifying. Now, another reason why we're afraid is because we have a history of conquest and colonization, right? And so we tend to project, oh, well, if people come here from afar, they're going to conquer us and colonize us and enslave us and put us, and make us work for them and extract our resources. And why do we think that? Because that's the history of our species. But more highly evolved beings don't engage in those behaviors. They have no interest in coming here and doing those things. There are exceptions, but for the most part, so Alicia said there are creators saying that they're here to harm us. Yeah, of course, because that's kind of a part of our psyche, right? We always think that, oh, I'm going to hit this celebrate again. I don't know why, but I like to see these little celebrates. I want to see if I can make another sticker. This is just the way we think, right? We think that people are like us, that they just want to control and dominate and cause harm. And you're going to know by how they feel, right? You're going to know whether they're here for your highest and your best. And you can always ask that too. Are you here for my highest and best? And when you encounter a spirit, a star being, anyone, always ask them. Oh, Teresa said it was worse than 11:5. Yes, I think it was for many people because many people were convinced that this was our last hope today. It's not our last hope, but if you felt that way, then today would be devastating. Um, but it's not our last hope. Um, Hope is the evidence of things unseen. A lot of people saying here they want to meet him. Um, One race, the human race. Um, a Z. I think this is part of a sentence. I can't see it all. How do I let go of that though? These people see me as subhuman. It's very challenging. I can tell you as somebody who's been the victim of an incredible amount of racism and sexism my whole life, and I continue to be. I know it's hard to let go because people don't see us as like them, right? They see us as less than them. And I'm not saying don't fight for justice. We of course we have to fight for justice. And no, you can't necessarily let go of people seeing you that way. It's hurtful. It's hurtful. But I just want to say that I think we're evolving past that. And I think especially once the star beings get here, it's going to be very difficult for us to hold on to those ridiculous beliefs that certain people are better than other people because of the color of their skin or their gender, their genitalia. I mean, we're going to have to let go of that as a species once we encounter, these other species altogether. So I feel very hopeful about that we're going to see progress on issues of inequality. EO. EO. Oh, I don't know what EO is. Fear is a distraction infused to keep us controlled. Light, love and light said, exactly. Do whatever you can to stay out of fear. Whatever it is, figure out what it is for you. When you feel yourself getting fearful, you just find something to do to get yourself out of that fear. Because fear is a super unhealthy emotion and it attracts more things to fear. And so we have to, we have to always be trying to focus our energy in love. Love and fear are opposites. Oh, Tammy said her ETs were little green men waist high with green clover burgers dripping out of noses. Oh, boogers. She meant to say, that's hilarious. That's another funny story. So, we're just telling stories here. Robin wants to know, why do the star beings want to help us? So in the chapter about the star beings, the reason that, and I'll just stop here for another disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm a storyteller, an intuitive storyteller, and I'm not a journalist. So why do the star beings want to help us? Well, in that chapter, the star beings explained that they're here to help us because the joust we just had, in combination with some other jousts that are happening throughout the planet, have indicated that we're on a precipice. And if we go in the wrong direction, it's going to end in destruction. And that destruction would be detrimental not just to us as humans, but to the other beings on this planet. So there are beings that live in the water that we might think of as ETs, but they're actually indigenous to this planet, but they've been here for thousands of years. They don't look like us. And there are also beings that live underground who've also been here for thousands of years and do not look like us. And so we do not have the right to destroy this planet and destroy the habitat of all of those beings, to say nothing of the plants and animals who also have a right to live. And we also don't have a right to do anything to our planet in regards to like a Newtonian war, which would actually have repercussions beyond our planet and negatively impact star beings in other parts of the cosmos. And so because we're on a precipice where that could happen, because of this particular joust, because the person that the people put their tallies in for is not the person who people are saying is going to be seated. This is why the star beings came. And so they're aligned with the people. They're not aligned politically with a red or blue team, but they're aligned with the people, and they're aligned with the preservation of the planet in this story. And so in this story, it so happens that the Lotus Queen is the person that was chosen by the people, and it so happens that the Lotus Queen is the person who is interested in engaging in certain activities as a leader that would help us to ascend and to progress spiritually, whereas the Naked Emperor is interested in taking the people onto a path of destruction. And so the star beings are here to make sure that doesn't happen. Because we don't have a right to do the things that the Naked Emperor wants to do, all of these different star beings from the Galactic Federation have shown up, kind of like, in our world we have an international criminal court to make sure that nations follow rules and don't do things to harm other nations in particular ways. It's kind of like that, the Galactic Federation, and that's why they're here. And I just want to say something about that because we're almost done. We're gonna end in a few minutes, and so I want to say one more thing along those lines. On up. I did see some of them left, but then I've talked to them again recently, and there's still a whole lot here. And so the question is, if we can't stop them, will they? So let me answer that question and kind of a bigger question, something I wanted to talk about. Just one last thing before we close for the evening. And for the people who've just logged on, I'm going to do some more lives this week with some of the other Dreaming Women, like Dana and Gia, and we're going to try to do some duets. I was trying to do that tonight, but I didn't have the qualifications because I've only done 2 lives. But, we'll see if they'll let me do it tomorrow. So let me just say something about that, about the... This is another reason to have hope. There are lots of different people who are aligned with you. So it's not just all of us little people out here who feel very strongly about the finagling of the joust, who feel very strongly that the person that we put our tallies in for has not been declared the winner. It's not just us. It's also a few other people. So let me list those. There are very powerful merchants. We're using the word merchants to refer to people who make a whole lot of money and as a result have a whole lot of power. Starboy, for example, is the richest merchant in the world. There are many other merchants there are some merchants who are aligned with Starboy and Rasputin and Naked Emperor. Yes, that's true. We're seeing them all donate, right, to the big ceremony fund. Some of them are donating out of fear, less than support. Some of them are donating out of support. But there are other power brokers and merchants who are recognizing, kind of late, maybe late in the game from my perspective, recognizing that their interests are not aligned with the declaration of Naked Emperor as winner. And they thought they were, because in the previous joust where he won, or supposedly won, they were able to benefit financially from his leadership. And so there were lots of merchants who were like, oh yeah, this would be good for us to support this particular jouster. But what they're realizing is that his agenda is not in alignment with their agenda, because he in fact is a puppet of these other more powerful people, Starboy and Rasputin. And so they're now realizing that they're not really going to have influence. They're not really going to have their agenda being considered, because there's a whole different agenda. So that's our second group. There's us, the people. There's these very powerful merchants who are opposed. And then there's also a number of very powerful political figures, like on the blue team, but also on the red team, who are recognizing, again, some of them too late, a little late, that his agenda is going to take away all their power. And so we know that because we know something about the way governments are run, that when you have a republic, you have a lot of powerful people who have power. But when you have an authoritarian structure, you only have a few people with power, and then everybody else loses their power, including those people who used to be very powerful in the republic. And so those people are also recognizing, oh my God, I'm going to lose all of my power and maybe all of my, shekels too. And then there's the star beings. So we have at least 4 different groups of people, some very powerful, some just very large groups like us, the people, who are all in alignment in seeking the same outcome. And so let's just keep that in mind. Let's just keep that in mind while we focus on our hope. And I will see you again. Thank you for joining my live, and for everybody who was tapping and giving gifts. I appreciate that. And I will see you probably tomorrow, but sometime again this week. We're going to do some duets with some other dreaming folks. So have a good night, and write down your dreams. And I will see you again soon. I don't even know how to leave the live. But thank you, everybody.